Hey guys, what's up? So today I'm looking at the brand new Fortin 14 Overdrive pedal. So stay tuned. All right, so as you heard in that intro clip, this thing is pretty mean in front of a high gain amp. And today what I got going on is this 50-watt Mesa Rectifier, and I was boosting it with this Fortin 14 using the modified TS9 circuit. Now, if you've been on social media or you follow any kind of guitar gear tubing, then you know what this is and you've seen it pop around here and there. And you also know who Mike Fortin is and you know what Fortin does in terms of high gain stuff. And I'm here to tell you today that this is probably the best bang for your buck boutique style overdrive pedal you're going to find on the market currently. And I don't say that because it's something that's super innovative and new. No, in fact, this is got three pedals built into it that have been on the market for quite a while, but they're just kind of all smashed into one package here with a couple extra bells and whistles that you don't get on the original versions. So first up, before I get into any more high gain tones, I just want to go over what this pedal is and what it has going on for it. And so what you got going on here is two rows of EQ channels, a level, a tone, and a gain stack. And you're able to run two different versions of this modified Tubescreamer circuit that has three clipping circuits built into it. And so if you go channel 1 or channel 2, that'll switch between channel 1 and channel 2 independently, and you can switch back and forth between, say, a modified TS9 or the modified 808 circuit. Now, additionally, you have the three switches here, or the three-way switch here that switches between a hex drive all the way to the right. In the middle, you have a modified TS9, and then all the way to the left, you have a 808 modified circuit, and you have two of them to control each channel 1 and 2 independently. And you have an on-off switch here to turn the pedal on or off and to, completely bypass the whole thing. Now, that's a pretty straightforward thing. Three clipping circuits, two independent channels to control one or the other, and, a thing to switch between both overdrives, depending on how you like it. Now, the cool thing about this pedal is if you have an amp, especially one like this, that has a 1/4 inch input on the back to control between channel 1 and channel 2, so like a 2-channel amp, there is an output jack here to switch your amp channel. And what that does is essentially lets you switch the channel between like your clean channel and your overdrive channel or your high gain channel independently, to where you can run just your overdrive on your high gain channel and then switch over to the clean channel and the overdrive will be gone. Conversely, you could also have it to where you run an overdrive on your clean channel and just have a dirty tone over there and then switch over to your high gain channel and then not have a boosted high gain channel. And the way that is done is obviously you have the 1/4 inch to switch between the two channels. And then you can either assign it to switch the channel with the on button. And by doing that, if you use the on button, when you switch the on button, if you go to whatever channel has the overdrive activated, you'll be able to independently switch between channel 1 and 2, so two different overdrives. But if you want to, you can also assign it to the channel switch to be the thing to change the channels. And what that'll do is basically allow you to switch between your dirty and your clean channel, and then use your on-off switch to either turn on the overdrive or turn off the overdrive independently. But in that case, all you end up getting is a single overdrive pedal to use. So be aware of that. Additionally, you have a polarity switch here. So just in case your internal mechanism here for switching the channel is opposite of what you want, switching the polarity will flip that. So if currently you're switching between clean and high gain, and what you're getting is a high gain channel when you don't want it, flip the polarity, and that'll, you know, flip the phase to where you're able to switch to a clean channel instead. So those two options definitely make this a very versatile setup to use for any of these clipping circuits if you want to use it as a channel switcher with the ability to have an overdrive either on or off either channel. So you don't always have to run an overdrive, or you don't have to do the, what I would call like the tap dance routine, where you have to click off of, you know, your channel and then click off of the overdrive, or click on an overdrive, click on a channel. It's all able to be built into one, you know, single function. So there's that. So right now what I'm going to do is go ahead and plug this back in, hook it up, and we're going to play some tones, mostly focusing on the high gain stuff. I do have an Ibanez Tubescreamer here that I'm going to show you kind of what the modified TS9 circuit really is doing when you get something like this, and how much more headroom this one has, and just to kind of demonstrate what it means when you have more headroom on tap on a pedal. So let's get to that. All right, guys, so what I got going on here is the LTD MT1, the Mick Thompson series that I reviewed a week ago with the Fishman Mick Thompson pickup. The way I have this set up with the 14 is I have it to where the channel function switches between clean and dirty. So if I go between channel 1 and channel 2 on this button, I can switch my amp from the clean channel to the dirty channel. If I want to engage an overdrive on my clean channel, I can. If I want to take the clean channel and just have it be clean, I can. Or I can switch over to the dirty channel or the high gain channel and have it without the overdrive. Or I can add in the modded TS9 circuit, which is what I have it set up for right now. Switch back over to clean, and I can turn off the overdrive. And conversely, if I want to have it to where the on switch is what goes between the two channels, I just have to flip that on. And then what I'm able to do is switch between the clean channel and the high gain channel with the on-off switch. And when I'm on the clean channel, I'll have absolutely no overdrive available to me. And then when I'm on the high gain channel, I'll be able to switch between two different overdrive pedals. So right now on channel 1 here, I have up top, I have the modified TS9 circuit, and I have that like the level's halfway up, the tone's almost up, no drive. And if I switch over to channel 2, the bottom row here, I have the hex drive engaged, and that level's pretty much all the way up, and the tone is about in the middle. So for my demonstration today, I like having it to where I can switch the channel 1 and 2 button back and forth and be able to kind of play with the overdrive circuit on both the clean and the high gain channel. And we'll just go through and switch through some of the clipping circuits on both just to kind of see what they do. So first up, let me go back to the clean channel real quick and just kind of demonstrate what it is that the modified TS9 circuit on here is doing in comparison to the, you know, the standard TS9. So I'm on the clean channel. I have the modified TS9 circuit on the bottom row here. What's kind of cool about when I have it set up this way is when I go back and forth, what I can do here is when I'm when I'm on the clean channel here and I turn it on or off, I'm utilizing this channel down here, but if I go over to the high gain channel, it actually switches me back up to the channel up here. So technically what you could do is you could, on your clean channel, run a TS9 circuit, you know, kind of like a dirty TS9. Or when you go over to the high gain channel, you can have it set up to run like the hex drive or the modified 808 circuit, you know, in tandem with the TS9 on the clean. But back over on the clean, here's what the TS9 modified is doing. I have it set up with the level in the middle, tone in the middle, and drive all the way down, and here's what it sounds like. If we compare that to the OG one, where I tend to run the level all the way up, I'll keep the tone in the middle, and here's what the TS9 does. So that's the TS9 maxed out on the level. Tone in the middle. And here's the modified TS9 from Fortin with the level in the middle, not maxed out, tone in the middle. So the idea of headroom here is I'm only about halfway up on the modified circuit, whereas the original circuit is fully up. I have way more to go on here if I want to get even more push. In fact, I'll turn the level up on the modified circuit up to about 80%. Just, it's way louder, way more push. And then the tone stack, you know, if I go up to where I typically keep the tone, which is roughly in like the 80 to 90%, if I compare the two different circuits, here's the modified. Just a more aggressive sound. If I go over to the hex drive circuit, you'll see that it's a much less clipping, much more modern kind of focus sound. Not as much headroom. And then the 808 is just a balls to the wall high gain thing. And that's with the drive all the way down. So that's going to really push a lot of signal into the front of this amp. All right, so I'm going to hang out on the high gain channel here for a minute. Here's my bass high gain tone with no boost on. The Rectifier series is known for being a little bit thuddy, a little bit loose in the low end. So that's where an overdrive comes in. And right now I have the hex drive engaged. And here it is. I have the tone all the way up and the... Well, I'll scroll it back just a little bit. The level's all the way up. The drive's down just like a standard Tubescreamer would be. Now, one of the things about the hex drive that I didn't really understand because I never owned one, but I had a couple virtual or digital versions in the Fortin plugins that Neural DSP makes, is that the boost is a very clean clipping circuit, a very clean boost until you get to about 7 or 8 o'clock on the drive. And almost every preset in those plugins would have the hex drive on with a little bit of drive, and I never understood why. until I got this, and now I kind of do, because it does give you that little bit of extra push, but you do have to make sure your noise gate's up a bit. Yeah, because that little bit of extra clipping just totally takes it to the next level. Okay, so now I'm on the TS9 setting, and what I have is it up in the middle with the level. Tone is just a little bit past halfway, and I'm gonna turn up just a little bit more, maybe close to like 1 or 2 o'clock. Drive is all the way down, just like a standard Tubescreamer. And here's what I got. All right, let me go ahead and compare that to just the OG TS9. Yeah, the modified one just has way more grit to it. I think there's obviously got to be a little bit more upfront clipping. I don't think it's just the level, the headroom, because I even scaled it back closer to, lower than halfway, and it's still way up there. If I turn the level all the way up on this thing, it's probably over the top. Yeah, I definitely need to bump up the gate if you're going to use the modified TS9 on the 14 here as some sort of just standard Tubescreamer thing where you bump the level all the way up and really push it into the amp. I suppose if you have an amp like a JCM 800 or like an old Plexi and you use something like this, this would give you that little bit of just clipping saturation right up front to really take those amps that really aren't meant to be super high gain, really, and give them just like that modified, that modified Marshall feel. So let's move on to the 808, which to me is one of the most just aggressive circuits I've ever heard come out of a pedal. All right, so again, just for reference, here's my normal tone out of this amp. Sorry, I have the gate way up. And then if I engage the 808, it's gonna be over the top. Oh, I should probably turn that level way back. I'm gonna keep the drive completely off. I'm telling you, it's like it's just ridiculous. Let me see what happens. Let me turn the level back. Okay, I'm gonna turn the gain on the amp down because it's just ridiculous. I don't even know how I would use this as a boost in front of an amp. Maybe if I was really going for if I just really wanted a nasty tone. I don't know. I haven't figured it out yet. it's hard to tame, but it has that character of just being this grindy, just saturated thing that if I wasn't sitting so close to the amp, and if I had maybe the ability, this has a parallel loop, so doing a gate in the loop kind of doesn't work here, but if I had, a gate in the loop, just like a really killer rack mount gate situation, like that could be kind of cool on stage. I don't know, there's a way to do it. Maybe turn the drive down, but keep the level up, maybe. I feel like you need that drive up a little bit, though, just to give it that little bit of like, ugh, I don't know. It's cool. If I had to give my favorite on here, it would definitely be the TS9 modded circuit. I think it just really takes something like a standard Tubescreamer and just, beefs it up, blows it up. But man, the hex drive, just with a little bit of gain all the way up, it is super modern, super tight. TS9. And then 808. Absurd, ridiculous. I don't know. I'm going to link down to the pedal below. You guys check it out for yourself. Hopefully you got something out of this video. I really like this pedal. It's going to be a staple. It's going to be popping back up on video, so keep a lookout for it. Anyway, see you later.